We're here with the director of cross country, Mark Nelson. Coach, your team competed this past weekend in Kansas City at the Midwest Invite. A lot of Hart teams at that invite. Let's talk about your women first, and a great finish for the team, and Allison Nigg as well overall.
Yeah, Allison had a great meet. We weren't sure what was going to happen. She has a history of soreness in her feet, which we've been battling for about 3 years, and uh, we were dealing with some really rough footing at the park that we were running at, and I wasn't sure how things were going to go for her. But she came in with a really aggressive mindset and really pushed herself and really ran well. About a 14-second personal best for her. Moved her up to 16th on our all-time list, all-time top 25 list, and really a good day for her. And she led the way. You know, she was followed by Megan Greener and Sarah Kerperwhite, with who both ran pretty good times for the year, especially considering the rough footing conditions in the hills. And I think this bodes well. We were missing Elisa Thomas. I think if we can get everybody firing at the same time, we're going to have a good end to our season.
And then looking at the men's side of things, a nice finish once again by the freshman Elliot Kernernscheld. And the team overall, it seemed like they ran very well. Again, a very hilly course out there in Kansas City.
Yes, very hilly. They had a couple issues with a couple of turns not being marked as well as they could have been, and I think that slowed down the pace of the course, or pace of the race, excuse me, up front. And then that kind of just trickles down to the rest of the race and the remaining runners in the race. So challenging course, rough footing, and a little confusion on where they were supposed to go kind of slowed things down, but I thought we competed well. Elliot, of course, he's been kind of our leader all year. We sat Michael Neely, our number 2 runner, out for this meet, and that would have, I think, significantly changed our points in the meet, having him there, because he would have probably placed again second on our team, which would have put him in between Elliot and Justin Smith, who also had a great race. We're looking forward to seeing what we can do on a fast course, and we think we're going to get that in about 2 weeks here.
Looking ahead a little bit further down the road with the conference championship, you'll be right back out there in Kansas City. What did this meet this past weekend do for both the men and women's team to be out there with all Hart schools?
Well, it showed us how well we can do, first of all. I think for the most part, learned a little bit about the course that I think is going to put us in an advantage, because not all the teams from our conference came out and ran this. I think it may have been a mistake for some of those teams not to come out and see what this course was going to be like, because it is challenging, both from a footing standpoint and from the hill standpoint. It is a challenging place. It's going to be a tough race, and we're going to have a leg up on some of those schools that chose not to come out.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time, and we'll catch up with you next week.
All right, thank you.
We're here with assistant volleyball coach Luke Bentley. Coach, an impressive week for your squad last week, 4-0. Let's first talk about your home match. You faced a Graceland opponent who could give you some problems. Overall, how did you think that match went?
Thought we played well. Came out with W, which is the most important thing. But they're a good team, and I think we did a good job adjusting to what they were doing in the middle of the game, and in the end pulled out a good win for us.
Then this past weekend, your team goes on the road to Iowa. You have 2 conference matches against Clark and Mount Mercy, and then you face a Morningside squad who used to be receiving votes in the top 25 poll. You come out 3-0 this weekend. You had to be pretty pleased with the results.
Yeah, we were super happy with the way we played this weekend. Couldn't ask for a better weekend. Just going all the way up there, on the road, and never playing those teams before. We didn't know a lot about them, but our girls played extremely tough. We had a little different lineup in there, and we just couldn't ask for a better result. They played so well. Was really happy with the way it turned out, and very excited about what we have this week.
Yeah, and looking ahead to this week, a busy week for your team. First up, you face 25th ranked Peru State College tomorrow night. What do you know about Peru?
Peru is probably one of the top teams in the conference. Like you said, they're ranked. They've been extremely successful this year, and they're going to play us extremely tough. They play very similar ball to us. They're scrappy, extremely aggressive offensively. They serve very aggressively. We're going to have to bring our A game tomorrow to pull out the win. But I think our girls are ready for it. So we'll see what happens.
And then to close out the week, you'll host the CMU tournament here on Friday and Saturday. 5 matches for your team in 2 days. What do you know about your opponents, and how tough is it for a team to play 5 times in 2 days?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of volleyball for us, but we're hoping to get, a lot of our girls in. It should be a good tournament. We have 7 teams coming, so it'll be good for us. They'll probably end up getting a lot of playing time, but hopefully come away with some good wins, and it should be a good weekend for us.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for your time, and good luck this week. Hopefully everyone will come out for couch night on Tuesday.
Thank you.
We're here with head women's soccer coach Dan Schmidlin. Coach, it was a busy week for you last week, another busy one ahead this week. But first, let's talk about last week. You go on the road, you face a top 10 Baker squad, and you get a 1-1 draw. How excited were you to walk out of Baldwin City with a 1-1 tie against a tough Wildcat team?
Yeah, we're pleased. We had chances to win the game too, so we're definitely not satisfied with the with the result. We always want more, but looking back at it, it is a very good result. To come away with a point is it's critical this time of the year on the road. Against a very good, experienced Baker team. So, pleased with the effort, and we had chances to win the game, and I felt like they really didn't have the chance to win the game, and we did. So several.
And you came home this past weekend to face a really tough William Penn squad. They really gave you a tough test, but you come out victorious 4-0. You had to be pretty pleased with your team's effort on Sunday.
Yeah, it was a great match, great result for us. We got to get wins at home for sure. Can't drop any home games. William Penn's always tough. They don't concede many goals, so to put up 4 is pretty special. You look at their results, and they've been in every single game that they've played. So we'll take a 4-0 win every day.
Speaking of defending the home turf, you're back home this Wednesday against a ranked Mid-Am team, and then you travel to face a tough Grandview squad over the weekend. How challenging of a week will this be for your team?
They're all big. I think last week was a huge test for us. This week will be a big test. They're all huge. They're all big. The following week will be big as well. So. That's the fun of being in the heart of America, is every single week is going to be tough tests. So, we're not going to change our approach. We're going to keep doing what we do, and, we'll be happy with the outcome as long as we play our style, and that's what we've been preaching all along to these girls, and they are playing a great style of soccer. So we're pleased, and we just got to keep moving forward.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck this week, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We're here with head men's soccer coach Alex Nichols. Coach, your team was scheduled for 2 matches last week. Unfortunately, your first match against a top 10 ranked Baker squad got postponed. And then you face William Penn at home. But first, let's talk about that Baker game. You begin the game, but then due to weather, that game gets postponed and you'll have to replay it. How tough is that going to be on your team to have to travel back out to Baker, and then you have to restart the game?
Yeah, it's going to be frustrating. We didn't get to 70 minutes. We played first half against Baker, and they had the run of the play more for controlled the game more for the first 25 minutes, and then I'd say the last 15 to 20 minutes we controlled the game. But regardless, it ended up being a 0-0 result at halftime, and then during our halftime talks, the referees had to postpone the game and delay the game because of lightning, and so that continued to where we weren't able to get the rest of the game in, and since we didn't get to 70 minutes, we have to replay everything. We have to go back out there and do the same thing again. So it's certainly not it's certainly not convenient for either side, but it's a little bit even less convenient for us, more inconvenient because we are the ones who have to travel back out there. But it is what it is. We'll be ready. Our guys can handle it. We'll be good to go.
This past Sunday, you hosted William Penn. You come out with a 5-2 victory. Overall, how did you think your team performed?
I thought we performed real well. Some mental lapses here and there, and some things that we're still building on individually and as a team. We conceded a couple goals that we don't like to see. We didn't finish a couple opportunities that we want to finish, but that's part of soccer. We're all still growing, staff and players, individually and as a team. So that's part of it. But all in all, I think we played really well. We got a 5-2 result against a good team. So anytime you win 5-2 against a Heart of America Athletic Conference men's soccer team, it's a good result. And so for the most part, we're proud of the way the guys played. But as always, there's also many things to work on and get better at.
The road's not going to get any easier this week. You host a ranked Mid-Am squad here on Wednesday, and then you travel on the road to face Grandview over the weekend. A big week for your team. What do you expect out of both Mid-Am and Grandview?
Two very good teams. I mean, one's the number 9, one's the number 11, and both of those teams oftentimes are top 5 teams, let alone top 10, 11 teams. And so you always know it's going to be a game, it's going to be a scrap, and we need to be ready to roll with every aspect of our game. They're good teams. It's going to be 2 good teams playing each other this whole week. So it's very important. So we'll see.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks very much.
We're here with the head football coach, David S. Calloway. Coach, your team coming off a bye. What did you and your team all do last week to kind of rest, but also get prepared for your game this week?
Well, we tried to get some guys rested, obviously. I'm assuming like a lot of people did in the conference, trying to get back healthy. We just practiced on Tuesday and Wednesday and make sure we got some good weightlifting sessions in and just try to refine what we're doing and try to make sure we're doing a good job of coaching and playing fundamental football and harping on trying to play winning football as we move forward into the second half of the season.
That conference begins this weekend, and a tough test as the rivals, Missouri Valley, comes to town. They're a ranked opponent. They're obviously our big rivals, and the game's on ESPN3. A lot of pressure, but what do you tell your players as you head into this game?
Well, it's not about the pressure. It's about, are we going to come out and try to play, winning football? That's what we have failed to do up to this point, and that's the message that we'll continue to drive home until we get our point across. We're looking at different guys at some different personnel areas during the week and see if they'll be able to make the transition to game day Saturday. But we can't control things outside of what we need to do on the football field. As far as them being ranked, it being a rivalry situation, or it being an ESPN3 game. We control this coming out, having a good week of practice, making sure we're paying attention to detail as best as possible and building towards game day.
Well, Coach, thank you for your time. Good luck this week, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Thank you.